Today I am going to start with the next topic of AMI, that is pressure measurement. So first we'll understand about the basic concepts behind the pressure measurement. So pressure is the force per unit area exerted by a fluid on the surface of the container. Pressure measurements are usually made relative to some reference. Everyday pressure measurements such as the pressure in a car tire are usually made relative to ambient air pressure. In other cases, measurements are made relative to a vacuum or to some other ad hoc reference. The applied pressure can be measured as absolute gauge or differential pressure. Pressure can be measured directly by measurement of the applied force or indirectly. Example by the measurement of the gas properties. Examples of indirect measurement techniques that are using gas properties are thermal conductivity or ionization of gas molecules. In physical science, the symbol for pressure is P and the SI unit for measuring pressure is Pascal. So 1 Pascal is the force of 1 unit. 1 Pascal is the force of 1 Newton per square meter acting perpendicular on a surface. Now we talk about this diagram. So when distinguishing between these zero references, the following terms are used. First one is the atmospheric pressure. So the pressure due to air surrounding the Earth's surface is called as atmospheric pressure. Next is the absolute pressure. So absolute pressure is known that pressure is force per unit area when the interaction of fluid particles among themselves is zero. A zero pressure intensity will occur here. This is possible only when the population of molecules is negligibly small, which means perfect vacuum. Hence the pressure intensity measured from a state of perfect vacuum is called as absolute pressure. So it is equal to gauge pressure plus atmospheric pressure. Next is the gauge pressure. Say pressure measuring instrument generally measures the difference between the unknown pressure and the atmospheric pressure. So when the unknown pressure is greater than the atmospheric pressure, the pressure measured by the instrument is called as gauge pressure. Gauge pressure is when gauge pressure is zero referenced against ambient air pressure, so it is equal to absolute pressure minus atmospheric pressure. Negative signs are usually omitted here. In terms of vacuum pressure, a pressure measuring instrument generally measures the difference between the unknown pressure and the atmospheric pressure. So when the atmospheric pressure is greater than the unknown pressure, the pressure measured by the instrument is called as the vacuum pressure. Now we'll see some of the types of pressure measurement. So first one is the Bourdon tube. So this is the Bourdon tube. So a Bourdon tube pressure gauge is a mechanical pressure measuring instrument that reads the pressure without requiring any electrical power. It is generally used for the measurement of pressure from 0.6 to 7,000 bar or 8 to 10,000 psi. It is the most common type of pressure gauge and is used by industries for its high accuracy and precision, especially for high pressure applications. Bourdon tube pressure gauges are suitable for liquid or gaseous media for vacuum, low and high pressure applications. It comprises an elastic tube that flexes when subjected to pressure. This movement is harnessed by connecting the tube to a gearing mechanism that in turn connects to a pointer on a scale or gauge. Next we'll talk about the operating principle of Bourdon tube. So the here figure illustrates the components of a Bourdon tube pressure gauge. So this pressure gauge is attached to a pipeline at the inlet pipe. So A is the inlet pipe. The inlet pipe is held in place by a socket block, if you can see socket block B, which also holds the device to the process line. Pressure flows into the stationary end of the Bourdon tube C. The pressure is distributed through the C-shaped Bourdon tube D. As a result of this pressure, the C-shaped straightens a pivot and pivot pin E. Connect the straightening movement with the sector gear F at the moving end of the Bourdon tube. Due to the gearing system, the movement at the moving end of the burden tube is amplified so that a very slight pressure change results in a considerable motion of the indicator needle G. Generally, the indicator moves from left to right in a circular path over a calibrated scale. A decrease in pressure will result in burden tube returning to its original position. The burden tube pressure gauge exhibits high sensitivity to pressure changes, thus ensures high accuracy and precision in the reading. Furthermore, the vibration and corrosion resistance offered by the pressure gauge makes it the preferred choice of many industries for their pressure measurement applications. Now, let us take a minute and try to answer this question. Which of the following is not a type of pressure sensing element? Which of the following conversion takes place in burden tube and in bellows? Pressure to voltage conversion takes place, whether it is true or false. I hope you got the answers. So which of the following is not a type of pressure sensing element? That is orifice plate, because orifice plate is used for flow measurement. Which of the following conversion takes place in burden tube? That is pressure to displacement, and in bellows pressure to force conversion takes place. So answer is false. So let's just move forward and talk about next type of pressure measurement, that is bellows pressure gauge. So this is bellows pressure gauge. The bellows type gauges are used for the measurement of absolute pressure. They are more sensitive than burden gauges. It may be used for measuring pressures up to 40 mm Hg. The bellows is a one-piece collapsible seamless metallic unit that has deep folds formed from very thin walled tubing. Diameter of the bellows ranges from 0.5 to 12 inch and may have as many as 24 folds. System or line pressure is measured to the internal volume of the bellows. As the inlet pressure to the instrument varies, the bellows will expand or contract. The moving end of the bellows is connected to a mechanical linkage assembly. As the bellows and linkage assembly moves, either an electrical signal is generated or a direct pressure indication is provided. Now we talk about the working principle of bellows pressure gauge. The bellows pressure element works on the principle of elasticity. Pressure acting on the outside of the bellows compresses the bellows and moves it free and against the opposing force on the spring. A rod resting on the bellows transmits motion to a pointer. Bellows is a thin-walled one-piece metallic pressure containing element appearing as a stack of round edges disc. When the pressure inside the bellows increases, then disc thicken and the length of the bellows increases. This increase in length is the sum of the expansion of all the discs and is a measure of the pressure inside the bellows. The movement of the end of the bellows can be used to drive a pointer over a scale. However, in practice, the range of pressure needed to fully extend the bellows is very small, so is the pressure required to strain the bellows. Now we'll talk about the next type of pressure measurement, that is diaphragm. So a diaphragm pressure gauge, also known as membrane pressure gauge, is a device that utilizes the deflection of a flexible thin membrane called the diaphragm to measure the pressure of the fluid in a system. The membrane isolates the inner working components of the pressure gauge from the media, preventing any contamination. This property makes a diaphragm pressure gauge suitable to use with corrosive or contaminated liquid or gaseous media. In high precision instruments, the diaphragm are generally used in pair back to back to form an elastic capsule. This pressure gauge is utilized for low pressure measurement and is used in applications such as measuring atmospheric pressure or monitoring pressure in a gas canister. Now we'll talk about the construction of diaphragm. Diaphragm pressure gauges have a simple working mechanism which can be seen in the figure. It consists of a thin circular membrane of a metal sheet called a diaphragm, it is B, which can be either flat or corrugated. When the pressure is applied, the deflection in the diaphragm should be linear. A flat diaphragm can ensure linearity or only for small deflections. So for industrial application, a corrugated diaphragm is preferred. The diaphragm can either be welded or clamped between the pair of flanges. The welded diaphragm is usually preferred in sanitary applications to prevent any potential for leakage. The diaphragm separates the environment within the gauge, where one side can be exposed to the atmosphere and the other side can be closed. This media separation ensures that the internal gauge components are protected when working with corrosive or viscous fluids. Now we'll talk about the pressure measurement using Bourdon tube and LVDT. So this is a diagram. So the pressure measurement using Bourdon tube and LVDT is shown in this figure. In this figure, the Bourdon tube acts as a primary transducer and LVDT, which follows the output of Bourdon tube, acts as a secondary transducer. The Bourdon tube senses the pressure and converts it into a displacement. The free end of the Bourdon tube shows this displacement. A cord is used to connect the free end of the Bourdon tube to the core of LVDT as shown in the figure. When the free end shows a displacement, the core of LVDT also moves. This movement of core is proportional to the displacement of free end, which is proportional to the applied pressure. The LVDT gives analog output, which is a conversion of displacement into respective EMF. This setup is used for measurement of pressure, which is converted into electrical signal by LVDT. Now, let's just take a minute and try to answer this question. The instruments used for the measurement of pressure are Bourdon tube is used for the measurement of gauge pressure of watt, and 1 Pascal is equivalent to dash of force applied over an area of 1 meter square. I hope you got the answers. The instruments used for the measurement of pressure are bellows, diaphragm and Bourdon tube. All the answers are correct. Bourdon tube is used for the measurement of gauge pressure of gas and liquid. Answer D is correct, and 1 Pascal is equal to 1 Newton of force applied over an area of 1 meter square. I hope you have understood the concept of pressure measurement. Thank you.